Well, I appreciate y'all being here. Really excited. Big week for us. Excited to play. Head to St. Louis on Wednesday. We'll practice. We won't practice today. We'll be off Sunday and Monday, and then we'll practice Tuesday here, and then we'll leave on Wednesday. So very tough team we have to play in Stanford. Got a lot of respect for Johnny. I've known him for a long time. I played against him in college. And I know their team and their situation pretty well because they recruited Cullen really hard. So I know their roster. They do a good job. They're a really good team with Powell and Eustace and Chasen's from Iowa. So I know a little bit about him since he's been younger. So we've got a really good team, a really good starting five, and a couple of good bench players. So it'll be a really tough test for us. I think our guys will be ready for it. Our guys are excited, and hopefully we'll have a really good experience. Are we going to do this again, or are we going to do a –
Start this way. Coach has been a lot made about the seeding.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the seeding. I can't argue it. I can't go forward. All I know is what's in front of me, and that's what I've told my team. The only thing I will say is we did our work. We're 17th ranked scheduling out of conference. We beat San Diego State, was in the top 10 twice. We beat Cincinnati, who's 13th in the country or whatever. We did what we're supposed to do, but I'm going to look at it differently now, because why wouldn't I just schedule whoever and win as many games as I can? It really did make a difference, so we know what the draw is, and that's the way we're going to approach it. So we got the 7th seed, and we're going to go play Stanford.
Playing Stanford and what you've seen in the first couple hours so far, what's the key to this game?
Well, I think you just have to guard them. They run a triangle offense. It's not really complicated. Just do a good job. You got to limit Randall, and you got to be able to control Powell. And then Eustace, who we recruited a little bit, is a very versatile guy. He can make jump shots. He's good in the post. So, we've got to guard like we've been guarding. But then on the other thing, they've got to guard us. And we cause a lot of problems for a lot of different people with our offense and who we have on our team.
Coach, you were talking about how you need to guard them. Your two-point field goal percentage defense is 4th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
How do you count for that? What did you guys do to get that?
Well, we've always been that way since I've been here. Our three-point defense hasn't been very good, and it hasn't been that good for 6 years, and this is the 7th year. It's been okay, but we've always thought the toughest shot is to make guys get off the line and make tough twos and get hands up. So, one good thing about their team, they don't shoot a lot of threes. So, hopefully our defense will continue to get better, and our guys will be locked in, but really, really happy where our guys are, mindset, and looking forward to playing on Thursday. But
Did you change the routine at all, the pregame routine, as opposed to last year and years before?
pregame routine as far as when we played in the tournament this week or now? I have, because I wasn't trying to be mean or be a jerk to y'all. I wanted my guys to, get away from it. That's a long day when you win the Mountain West tournament and you fly back at, 7 o'clock, and then you have to do the selection show, and that's a long production. And by the time each one of you guys talk to each guy, it ends up being a 4-hour deal. And you'll get to talk to them today, and you get to talk to me today. But our whole thing is that we're pretty focused, and we have a purpose. And I've changed up a little what we do, trying to make them a little bit more relaxed. But we all know what that feeling was in the locker room last year, and my biggest goal was to try to get them back, and we got them back. So hopefully they'll take it from there.
Coach, the phrase that's been tagged on this year, I know you said Saturday.
Hasn't been tagged on this year. That's what you all keep tagging on this year. It's our program. We haven't been to Sweet 16 since everybody says 74, but that doesn't count. That was a 32-team field. It's what our program needs to do in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, this team's a part of that, but I'm not putting all the pressure on this team. We have to do it as a program.
So when even the athletic director last night after the selection was announced said unfinished business starts Friday again.
I'm not in charge of Paul's Twitter account.
Okay. So unfinished business isn't about the Sweet 16 with this team.
Yeah, it's about this team's a part of our program. So, yeah, it'd be great if this team can do it, but I'm not putting all the pressure just on this team to do it. I took the job over knowing that we haven't been there, and it's about the only thing we haven't accomplished here. Going to the Final Four, going to the Elite Eight, going to the Sweet 16. I mean, we went through a whole month where conference championships didn't matter. And that's I mean, when did that change here? When we got here. I mean, so, okay, then I understand that what we have to do.
As a conference, were you surprised that, like, I know Boise State didn't even get the NIT, but
Yeah, I just can't figure it out. I mean, I didn't want to talk about it, but, we have a guy that's the athletic director in our conference that sits on that, and we don't get two of our teams, we don't get anybody in the NIT, and we get the seedings that we get. It just makes me, makes you wonder. So I don't know if we'll ever get any answers, but I just know that we're playing Stanford and excited about that.
Dawkins, what do you remember about playing against him?
He's really good. He was probably the best guard we played against except for Jordan. And he was terrific, and he kind of was like Price at our program. Those guys are him and Amaker is the one that got those guys going, got Duke going. And he was probably the best guard that I played against when I was there, besides, like I said, Jordan. But he was really good. They had good teams, and Coach K was just getting started. So he was a terrific player. He was a terrific pro player, but I have a lot of respect for him. He's just a really good guy. He's got a great family, and he does a good job.
Is he, I mean, is that relationship from when you guys played against each other something that you guys have talked through the years at all, or?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've known each other for a long time. We talked more about it when they were recruiting Cullen. But I see him a lot. He's got a son that's the same age. Is a really, really good player that, we tried to recruit a little bit. But Johnny's just a class guy. He does things the right way. And he had, like I said, he had a terrific playing career.
Coach, what's different about the NCAA tournament at this time of year as opposed to Mountain West, where it's 3 games, 3 days, and it's every other day? And
Right.
preparation-wise?
Well, I just think you got to take your time and do it right. I mean, like I know we're going to do some things differently this year that we didn't do last year and the year before to get them ready. But my biggest thing right now is just to get them rest, get them a break. But the Mountain West tournament, it just happens so fast that you don't have time to catch your breath. So your guys are kind of locked in on adrenaline. They don't. This one is. They got time to prepare for us. We got time to prepare for them, and then you have a few days. I really didn't care about the seeding, and I told Frank this, and he laughs about me. All I cared about was that we got to play on Friday, because the last 2 years we've had that quick turnaround by winning 3 games and turn around, have to leave on Tuesday and play on Thursday. That hasn't been easy, and I think the biggest thing for us is that it's a Friday, and I think that's going to help us. I think it gives us an extra day. It gives our guys that have went through the three games in 3 days at the Mountain West tournament, gives them a little time to catch their breath.
Coach, will you seek out any advice from Coach Alford on the Pac-12 experience in Stanford?
Well, unless you guys get my phone records, I'm going to say I haven't really talked to him. No, I've talked to him plenty, and I'll talk to him. I talk to him at least 3 times a week during the year, and I'm sure I'll talk to him 3 times a day or 4 times a day till we play. So, they played him 3 times and had success. So, that'll be helpful.
Talk about how Stanford's defense, how stout it is.
They're good. It's a team that has size. Powell's about 6'10", Nastic's about 7 foot. Gage is about 6'10". That's a stretch 4-5. Eustace is about 6'7", but he's a good player. He's got great legs. He can get off the floor. They pressure. They do a little 2-2-1, not a lot, but they'll extend the passing lanes and all that. But we've seen. It's like I said the other day, and I think Jeff asked the question. We've seen every defense imaginable, from trapping from the passer, trapping from big, 1-3-1, 2-2-1. I mean, we've seen it all, and our guys are pretty adept at doing things the right way and figuring it out. So I think we'll be all right.
Coach, you mentioned some things that you're going to do differently this year than opposed to past couple years. Can you tell us some of those things?
Well, I think one thing that we're going to do is we'll do a lot of 5-on-0. not 5-on-0. The years past, we did a lot of 5-on-0. I'm going to do a little bit more playing, a little bit more scrimmaging, a little bit more situationals, game-like situationals that we've done, you know, in the past. We just didn't do it a lot last year because we were kind of run down last year at the end of the year. But I think our guys are fresher. I think physically they're in a lot better shape than we were a year ago, just minus a hell of a player in Tony Snell. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, hopefully we'll have them ready to go.
Coach, this year, from, I think, our standpoint, what we've seen is a lot of pressure you guys have put on yourself to get through certain stages of the season. One of them was that conference tournament. I'm curious if relief is at that. You put the neck down on that screen. How much relief was off of you when that happened, and is it all back on now that you're at the next week?
Well, I think it was relief, and you know, you're absolutely right. But my whole thing is to get my guys to where they deserve to be. That was the only pressure that I had. I knew I could do it. I've been in this for a long time, been part of this thing for 6 years, and this is the 7th year. Just very fortunate that I inherited a great team. So it was a big relief to get them to that championship. You know, I felt really let down after Saturday's game and really wanted them to win it again for them, because they've given so much to this program and so much to this state and this university that you want them to be rewarded. So to win the conference tournament was a big relief because, you know, as a coach, you feel like you let them down a little bit, not winning Saturday, but, you know, it's now we start a new chapter, and our guys have been pretty resilient, and they've played at a high level.
And I know you said this about the fans, that with the expectation, you want to be at a place where people.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of it. I mean, I don't care if people criticize me and get on me. The only thing that upsets me once in a while is their kids. You know, put the stuff on me. Don't put them on the kids. I understand what this place is about. I do. I mean, everybody thinks that I don't, but I mean, I wasn't born here. I raised my kids here, and I've been here 7 years. I don't want to be any place else that's not like this, because they care. They love it. I mean, look at the fans that we had show up at that tournament. It's like people don't understand until they see it. It's like I told Lamont, I go, Lamont, they're coming. I mean, they're coming. They're going to be 8,500 at the first one. We'll win again. There'll be 10,000. It could be 11,000 by Saturday. I mean, they love it, and it's in their blood. It's in my blood. It's in what our program's about, and you can't replace that passion for it.
One quick follow-up to that, though. Then, did you enjoy this year then, knowing that you had to get through that week? And
Hell, I enjoy it. I enjoy every year I get to coach basketball. Yeah, I had fun. I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want to succeed, and I wanted it, like I said, for the kids. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I thought our kids had fun. I thought they were more relaxed. I thought we had a good time. I think, you know, when you see them smiling and, you know, enjoying each other, I think we got good team chemistry. But I had fun. I coach a game that I love. I get up every day. I'm passionate about it. I love being around my kids. I love being around the program. I love being around the city. It's not like I went into hiding, Jeff. I mean, everybody sees me. I'm out. So, I mean, I'm not, you know, people come up to me all the time and they give me little comments that they want, and I don't hide from it. So I enjoyed the year. I enjoyed the success that my kids won a lot of games, 27 games, and they won a conference tournament for the 3rd time in a row. But just to see them mature and develop as players and students, and you know, that's been fun. So I've had a great time.
This is kind of a two-parter. All right, the first part is, do you pay attention to as soon as everything was picked, the brackets and everything?
Mhm.
New Mexico, the dark horse, they're gonna. I got.
No, I'm trying to keep my guys away from that. I think last year, and you might ask them, I don't know how they'll answer. I think it was surprising for us that, you know, we had people picking us to the Final Four. People had us locked to the Sweet 16. People, you know, we never had that before, and I think that was, you know, that's a lot of pressure. But I think our guys understand, and I've went from the get-go that we're going one step at a time. We're in this long journey together. It's 1,000 miles, and you can't make 1,000 miles unless you take the first step. And now we've been step by step by step, and I got to give them all the credit because they've been real focused. And I just said, you win, you advance. You win, you advance. And they did that 3 times and won the tournament, and they did it 27 times during a year, which is an unbelievable feat that, you know, I don't know if we've had a better all-around team than we've had this year.
You know, they say winning cures everything. Do you think you guys win a couple games and you can represent the Mountain West? That would help you guys out as far as maybe next year seeding and all that stuff.
I don't know any of that. I just know if you're a BCS school, you got a hell of a shot to get seated high.
This is new, sir. Oh, yeah. Came prepared. Yeah. Thank you.
We'll go opposite now. It's like reading the Torah. We'll go that way. Go. Kendall, since last year, you guys have the hashtag unfinished business for this program, that sort of deal. What is the unfinished business? Is it getting that first win? Is it getting to the Sweet 16? Is it a Final Four run? What is the unfinished business?
Well, I mean, the first part of that was, I think it was just motivation for us to get back, obviously, and to perform as well as we can consistently throughout the year in order to get back. But I think obviously winning the first game is part of it. It's no secret that this program wants to reach Sweet 16, so that's part of it. But at the end of the day, we got back here. We like where we're at, and we're going to take it one game at a time. So, you know, it's one thing to talk about unfinished business throughout the year, but once you actually get into it and you have to play it situationally, then you realize that we have Stanford on a Friday, and that's where we're going to have to focus on in order to make it to the next game.
Kendall, there was a lot of talk last year with you guys being upset a lot for the Sweet 16, maybe even a Final Four run, and then you're upset in the first round. What did you guys learn from that experience last year that you take this year?
Just that you don't take too much of what people are saying, what people have predicted or upsets, wins or losses, even seeding. You know, we're going into it and we're preparing for a talented Stanford team on Friday that stands in our way of winning our first NCAA tournament game this year. So that's where our focus has to be, and not on last year, not on what people are saying, just a complete mindset, a focus on performing our best for 40 minutes on Friday.
Kendall, can you talk a little bit about your defense this year? I know it's been a little underrated, but essentially, your numbers are pretty high nationally. What counts for you?
Well, I just think it started off underrated because we were still trying to find a nice flow with kind of the bench and our style. You know, we have a new coach and who has let us operate a little differently on the offensive end. So I think our defense has been hidden a little bit. So, but we had those accolades going in last year. We had a great defense, and we didn't go in prepared enough to handle that. So we just have to take it game by game, and I think our defensive mindset has been so good because we've treated every team differently. We haven't just, you know, had this mindset or this scheme for a team. So we're going to look at Stanford, see how we can best defend them, and then going like that. So I'm happy where our team is at, defensively, offensively, the chemistry. So we're in a good place right now.
What do you think of the seed, and do you think that's the sting of Harvard, and that the argument is, okay, win some games and maybe that better?
Yeah, they're probably just telling us we got to prove ourselves. You know, that just goes with it, with being in a Mountain West Conference, still a mid-major conference. Obviously, the stigma that happened with losing the first round to a Harvard team, who, once again, this year I think is a underrated team. They're going to cause some damage. So it just is what it is. Every team in the tournament is good. It's talented. You win, you lose some. Unfortunately, the game last year they won. They had a great scheme and they followed it and they played their heart out. So this year we're going to have to learn from that and go out there and try to from the tip really establish our presence and see how the ball goes from there.
Kendall, you've used this phrase, and I've asked Coach about it, and he says unfinished business isn't about his team, but about the program at large. You're a senior. This is the last go for you. What does unfinished business mean to you?
It just means, well, the first question I touched on, I just simply said it's been motivation throughout the year to obviously get back, and it's been motivation throughout the year to stay focused, stay consistent, so we can get back and get the best seed. And so now that's been accomplished, all the hashtags, all that other stuff is really for the birds. We understand that we have a 7 seed, we're playing a 10 seed in the Stanford Cardinal, and unfinished business to me is just going in there with the mindset that we're trying to be in there for as long as possible, compete as hard as we can, because I don't think last year that's really where our focus was. So if anything we can take out of unfinished business is just kind of an aggressive mindset that this is our last chance. I'm gonna be following the program for until I die. I'm sure the seniors will as well. But as for me as a senior, this is my last time. So that's how I'm approaching it. Is that every moment on that court, I'm not gonna have another chance.
There's not a magic number for you then, like 16?
No.
Or
No.
Kendall, how much of a challenge of it is it to come off the Mountain West Tournament championship and then come back and follow back up in the NCAA tournament? Because third year in a row, do you guys do anything different?
The major thing we did different was get to play on Friday, so that's nice. But we didn't have a big pit party to celebrate our seed, and we came back after a championship, and we went as a team into our team room and wanted to see who we played, and got some rest last night, and now we're gonna have a week to prepare for a team at the end of the week that we feel like we can go and hopefully slow up a powerful offense that we think is dynamic, a lot of talent on that end. So we're feeling like we're in a good place right now. Nothing too different other than not doing the pit show and just really focusing on this first game and putting a lot of weight on the tournament for us right now.
Guard play, because they have size just like you guys. How important? It's always important for you guys to play well as guards, but how much emphasis is put on, like you guys really have to be key then?
It's just a matter of us sticking to the game plan that we've had all year. But we are an inside-out team. We understand that, but at the end of the day, the NCAA tournament relies a lot on guard play. So no matter what the dynamic of your team is, you have to understand that things that you must do in order to advance, in order to be successful, and that's come through having dynamic guards, making plays, making the right plays, but also making sure your big men who have carried you the majority of the way are involved. So it's going to be a balancing act, but at the end of the day, like I said, just being a senior, understanding that you don't get too many more opportunities, just go out there and be aggressive and play the natural game that has been successful so far.
Kendall, how is this tournament different than other games, other tournaments that you guys play? And what do you tell some of the younger guys that you're hoping to get contributions from that have never been to the dance before?
Well, I mean the simple answer to the first part, and probably because it's the most true, is that if you lose, you're done. You have a tournament at the beginning of the year. All these teams go to. You lose the tournament. Bummer. You move on. You lose the regular season championship. You have the conference tournament. You have the NCAA tournament. If you're guaranteed that at least. But now, it's just it's one big pool from all the teams that deserve to be in there across the country, and it's a one-game elimination every time you're out there on the floor. So that's how you have to treat it, and I think this team is really focused. We've made sure that these new guys, young guys, have understood that throughout the year that this is where we've been trying to come. This is what we've trying to achieve, and we're not satisfied. We're trying to go out there on Friday and advance.
This program has always played well, kind of with a chip on its shoulder kind of deal. What are your thoughts on the number 7 seed that you guys just liked?
Felt like we could have maybe got a seed or two higher, but I don't think this team needs any extra motivation, unless one of their guys comes out and starts talking about our moms or something, I think that's about the last thing that could really boost us much further. We've had the unfinished business tag. We've had such an emphasis on this upperclassmen class, especially the seniors, so the motivation is there. The hunger is there. I don't think energy will be an issue, so it's just a matter of preparing these next few days. I think that's the biggest thing we've realized is that the days leading up to it are just as important as the day of the game. So we're really just going to prepare these next few days to make a nice road trip to St. Louis and be successful out there.
All right, let's switch them up so we can get Cam.
Thanks, guys.
Probably about 5 minutes, 5 or 6
receiving more and more attention as the year's gone on, and it hasn't really affected me, and I still don't feel any different about it all, so I don't even consider it to be a factor.
Your thoughts on the 17th?
It is what it is. I mean, the bottom line is NCAA tournament, you'll be playing against a good team no matter what, and as we proved last year, seeding doesn't mean anything, and can sometimes be a disadvantage in some ways last year. And so you just got to take what you get. The NCAA tournament although seeding is based on a specific format and formula that they come up with, so there's no way you can complain about it. And the bottom line is we've been matched with a great team, and you got to go out there and play no matter what.
Stanford doesn't shoot a whole lot of threes as part of their offense, but they do have some skilled bigs that can stretch it a little bit. Any concerns going up against some bigs that are at the four specifically that can stretch you out a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a factor a lot of the year. Stretch fours, trying to make you play outside and guard them, and in the tournament it happened, the first two games a lot. So we've had to deal with it all year, and it is something that a lot of teams have tried to exploit and have exploited to some extent. So kind of getting used to it all a little bit, but at the same time it's always a concern.
It is a concern. Do you feel you've gotten better at it as this year's gone on?
Yeah, I think as the year's gone on, I've gotten better at it. I've still got a long ways to go with it, but it's something that a lot of teams in the Mountain West Conference play full guards, and so it has been a consistent theme playing against that on defense. So I think that will help me in this type of game, in this type of scenario, having played in that conference, and Boise, Fresno did the same thing. So.
Cam, your defense this year has been somewhat underrated, I think, but you've had pretty good success. What accounts for your team's success on defense?
I think we all understand defensive principles, and I think it took some time to get in a flow defensively this year. But I think as the season went on, we understood the importance of it, and I think I've brought that defensive mindset since that stage. I think the first UNLV game was the game in which we lost, and I think our defense was pretty poor. And I think since then we've really picked it up, and it's been a focus. We understand we can't just outscore everyone, and that you're going to have bad offensive nights, and that's when your defense needs to pick up the slack.
Kendall kind of mentioned preparation as being a big key. What do you guys do with that?
The same thing we do for every game. You just got to approach it just like another game, and you got to do scouting and go through their offense, their defense, and understand what they're trying to accomplish, and try to take away those things and try to exploit what they're not so great at. So we'll go over that the next couple of days and get, a lot of rest as usual, but besides that, just approach it as another game.
Yeah, your experience during the World University game, we saw how much you came back and you're so much improved now. That's kind of like a tournament there. Do you draw on some of that for this, like the NCAA tournament, because the stakes are high?
Yeah, and it's similar format also in terms of playing fairly shortly. And I think that helps somewhat in the Mountain West Conference tournament, playing 3 games in a row is what you did basically the whole summer. So I think obviously you have a day off rest, but being able to approach it with a quick mindset, if you do advance, is to get ready for the next team and get the new scouting report and move on. And I think a lot of those experiences did help, but at the same time, as you said, playing in those situations, and a lot of them pretty important, I think are always going to help you moving forward in a basketball career.
On social media, there was a lot of talk about you guys being a dark horse, people picking you guys, oh yeah, they're going to do this or that. You guys paid any attention to that, and what's your opinion on it?
Well, I haven't. That's the first I've heard of it, but I think we had some of it last year when we did get that recognition, and I think in some aspects we did let it get to our heads a bit. So I think it's something that you just got to take it as it is. We haven't been getting a lot of recognition for most of my time here, and so when you do get it, you can't really adjust. You just got to listen to people inside your inner circle and just play your game.
And I know you guys are focused on Stanford, but kind of stepping back, big picture-wise, what's next for you? Do you want to play in the NBA
I haven't thought anything about after season. My whole focus has been just this year and enjoying the time I do have here and the basketball I do have. And all I know is that I have this season, and I'm not sure where I'll be in the future. So all I can do is focus on this season.
Kim, Stanford's got two big folks, 6'10", 6'11". There are not a lot of teams that you play over the course of a year with two big guys like Nastic and Powell. Just talk about playing two. You guys have two folks, and they've got two, pretty much like them in terms of size.
Yeah, it'll be exciting anytime you get to go up against good opposition, and it's going to be a challenge. So it's always something you look forward to, is going against a team like that, which do have good bigs inside. So definitely looking forward to the challenge, and it'll be good to see where we're at.